welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com Broiler Chicken Show. Trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rational Investors Broiler Chicken Show. Back. All that kind of fun stuff. Happy Sunday. TGIS, I guess. Does that work? I think Chris had posted a word of warning. I think I had even said near the end of the week, and I think it was probably all the stress around that Black Friday event. Oh, my goodness. Is that ever stressful? And thank you very much. Community stepped up. TRI is not going out of business. Woohoo! Quite a few of you actually stepped up and expressed some serious confidence in TRI, the tools that I've tried to show you and impart to you, and the value that I think I bring on a fairly regular basis for all of you, and including the TRI team. So thank you very much for your belief in the community. And if anything, this next year should be extremely transformative for TRI and for the community. Feel 100% confident that we're going to be quite uppy into the end of 2025. And probably hit our regular cycle peak into probably the beginning of 2026. That would align, of course, with Mr. Benner's predictions 120, 130 years ago. So not bad call, Mr. Benner. We'll see how he does. But also, too, our very normal crypto seasonal study, and actually, I think I should probably go through that since it is the Sunday show. Nice education for the public. Maybe go through and just talk a little bit about the seasonality and what to expect over the coming year. Did see some people actually, tweeting, commenting about jumping ship now that Bitcoin has hit the big fat round number of $100,000. Usually the actual number itself is kind of meaningless. Does Bitcoin really care whether it is $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000? Not really. Suppose at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters for the health of the network, and this is just a really simple lesson you learn from commodities land, is generally speaking, prices of commodity assets usually trade in the marketplace a premium to what it actually costs to produce those commodities. And hence, that is basically the profit margin for companies who are actually in the business. So, gold mining companies, silver mining companies, they're really good examples. Farmers, how much does it cost to actually run tractors and plow fields and buy your seed to plant crops and herbicides and pesticides and all the kind of thing to ensure that the crop actually grows and comes to market. We call that the cost of production. And actually, it's really interesting. The only way I would know this is because I was a commodities broker. And I absolutely love commodities. First commodities trade I did was back in the 1980s with good old Kenny Roberts. And I even show the marketing material that I used to get because I keep everything. I'm a pack rat. I've got like a file, like literally, those legal the cardboard file boxes. I've got charts going back to like the 1960s down in my locker room. One of these days I ought to pull them together and at least take pictures of them and show them online. They'd probably be really valuable data. It's almost impossible to get that data nowadays. Anyway, so really, I think the bottom line here, especially with all you crypto kids, is Bitcoin above the cost of production? What does it actually cost to produce one Bitcoin? I do think that to a certain degree, costs and input prices are slightly elevated in this environment. And unfortunately, I think they will be through the rest of this decade. The Great Reset. Thank you, Klaus. And of course, it's probably just a really good practice. Every single video, if we're going to try and actually get a positive message out to the world, then every single video we remind all viewers, and especially if you're relatively new, to interesting when you type in Money Master, doesn't even show. I guess you have to go Money Masters and then YouTube. Interesting, of course, and this is the disgusting thing about the internet now. You can totally see how this is totally pre-programmed to try and get me to act and read and behave in certain ways. I really dislike that about this stupid internet. Really disappointing the way that this whole society has gone. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. And Brian, if anything, that's just Brian being consistent. The day that I stop making those snarky comments and stop referring to the fact that the whole goddamn thing's a fraud and it's all just a massive con job to make sure that the Rothschilds keep living off of your hard efforts, i.e. basically financial slavery. The day that I stop reminding you about this brutal reality of this human species is the day I really shouldn't be talking to any of you anymore. This is the reason. This is what Spirit wants me doing. And the whole idea of making a positive difference in this world. And it's really sad because, I think this gentleman, he's basically dedicated his entire life to this effort. And yet he's probably going to die a relatively unknown human. The banksters themselves are going to try and desperately to make sure that, his message just doesn't get out. So my job, of course, is to try and counteract all those evil, just evil. I don't ask a penny from any of you. The only thing that I ask is, clearly because I go, fuck, shit, bullshit, cocksucker, losers. So we know that Google will demonetize this. So the point here is each and every one of you, it's actually beholden on you, DDBB, Noray, my German bodybuilder. And of course, I got all the regulars here. Adam, Sacramento Slap. I think that's what he likes to call his setup. Eddie. Now, I'm not quite sure why. There's got to be a story behind it, but Eddie is now officially called Banana on the site, and I have no idea what the hell the backstory is on that. But anyway, good to see you over there, Eddie. What else we got there? Mr. Laura's Bello. All right. I don't know whether I'm familiar with you, but anyway, welcome to the channel. 41 people. Well, I only see about 3 or 4 people saying hello. Maybe the rest of you 41 people can just say hello. Hello, Ghost. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. I don't know whether I said it earlier or not, but I have a, and actually it's interesting because, since the whole COVID bullshit, as basically, I have a feeling they completely re-engineered our DNA there secretly behind our backs. But I actually haven't gotten too many colds since that whole sickness nonsense. So I recently came down. Keep in mind, my son, I mean, you all know my son, special needs. And literally when you're dealing with a autistic toddler, it's hands to the mouth, hands to the mouth, hands to the mouth, everything, hands to the mouth, hands to the mouth. So there was 1 year, I mean, you want to talk about a tough life. 1 year in particular, I remember because I even counted where we had 13 colds in 1 calendar year, more than 1 cold a month. That's how nasty it was. But they always say, well, whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So ironically enough, Liam's got a pretty strong immune system. But anyway, the point of the matter is if there is a cold floating around, odds are Liam will pick it up, hands to the mouth. Of course, I'm kissing him and hugging him and snuggling him as much as I possibly can. So if he gets a bug, there's pretty much guaranteed I'm going to get a bug. So not feeling so hot right now, folks. My apologies. I don't know whether I'll have as much oomph in me. And also too, once I'm done this video, I have to look forward to like a good 6-hour car ride. So it's going to be a long day. I don't know how much value I can actually give you people. I'll try my best, but it might be a bit of a flighty episode here. I'm sorry, but I'll try my best. I actually asked, like I just wasn't in spirit to do up a full Bitcoin summary. And we're also running pretty late. Didn't get this video started till about 20 minutes past the hour, so my apologies there. Again, like I said, I'm just not really with it today. So just a very brief comment on Bitcoin. And in a weird sort of way, like kind of what our write up here had suggested. I mean, we're basically playing with the big fat round number. This is why I said the other day I really I didn't really appreciate what Mr. What's that guy's name? Kramer. And actually, what do you think of the hair? Do you like the hair? Do I look kind of fancy? Chris even mentioned, holy Jesus, the guy went and got a haircut. It's a miracle. What do you think? And actually, the hairdresser herself, right? Because of the stupid hyperinflation, I was like, well, I'm a cheap ass and I don't like spending money. So it used to be that I'd get my hair cut once every 6 months, like twice a year. But with the hyperinflation and you're raising prices, I've cut it back to one haircut a year. So what do you think? You better enjoy it while it's here now, because within 3 or 4 weeks it's going to be all disheveled again. But anyway, not bad, right? The hairdresser herself was even saying, Jesus, you're in your late 50s and you don't have a single gray hair yet. What's wrong with you? But you can see, oh boy, that bald patch, it's getting higher and higher. Anyway, I don't look too bad. Anyway, I've got the picture over on this screen, but I got the camera over there, so I should move the picture over here. So I'm actually looking at you. There we go. Hey, how's it going? That's my cool dude look. I don't know whether it worked or not, though. Anyway, I'm very flighty today. Actually, Chris and I had a really fun conversation yesterday. God, we must have been talking for about 2 or 3 hours. Oh, geez. When you get that post nasal drip thing like that, and you can imagine exactly what that's like, right? That's exactly where I am with this cold right now. So every time you swallow, it's like, oh, crap. So didn't do a lot of write up here today. I was handed a really nice treat here this morning, which is good because put a bit of money into this sushi last year, about a year ago, and the comment that I put out on social media, Twitter or whatever. And geez, I've only got about 2 or 3 weeks left. I better get off my fucking ass. I gotta get off that stupid platform. In fact, whoever it was that told me about that DeFi Twitter, I can't fuck around with this anymore. I got to do it now. So I might even force myself to do it tomorrow. I know there's a bunch of TRIers that sent me the DeFi version of Twitter. Could you please send me it again? And if you watch this and you know which one it is and what the site's called, I've forgotten the name off the top of my head, but I have to get on top of this. I put it off. I have to get off of Alan's fucking circle jerk nonsense orgy site. So if you do know that site, it's a crypto platform. It's basically exactly the same as Twitter. It's just crypto. Please let me know, and that will be my project. I have to have this done by next Sunday because I don't want to lose that bet. I think you all probably are fully aware. I hate losing money. I mean, I hate it. I do not like losing money. I hate fucking losing money in a day trade, so I'll dial things back to the point where I just won't lose money. Don't lose money. So there's no way I'm gonna lose that bet. If it's like fucking New Year's Eve and I'm setting it up, so be it. Anyway, all right. So back to the story. Um, moved a bunch of. I had a bunch of assets, and I have some actually really big wins over there on the ledger that we bought last year, like this LIT one, for example. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 times the price that I bought it last year, and I should be selling a whack of it. This sushi's another one where we bought a whole shitload of this damn thing down at the bottom last year. So we started banging out doubles on this thing here today. So I was super, super pleased about that. And it's remarkable when you are sick and then you wake up and you see this big fucking fill come in, right? Because I woke up this morning and it's a trader's life, right? I know where my orders are. This one was at like 2.5 to 260, 265, somewhere in there. And the market like opened when I woke up this morning, it was like 230, 240. So I was sitting there going, all right, well, do we tinker? Do we leave it? And I was just like, no. I mean, if you actually look at this sushi chart, there's the 38.2 of the entire range. And that's still another double higher. I think I'm going to get another double on this because this was my first double. This will be the second double before this thing even hits Colin and his dump chaser level. And really, I've always told all of you at any given point in time, you should expect the market to come back and do nothing more than just test the 38.2 retracement level. So what you're seeing here, believe it or not, is not shocking at all. And like there was one cryptocurrency that I bought around this time back in 2023, I think it was somewhere back in here, and the damn thing has gone up like 10x. Oh geez. Hold on a second, I've got to blow my schnoz. Sorry about that. Not much I can do if I'm sick. Oh goodness. It's gonna be a challenge today. I don't know whether I can hang out here too much longer. I'll try my best. Anyway, so woke up this morning. Price was literally going parabolic straight up. And the one thing that I love to show people, especially on the Discord room, is I'll post in here as I'm waiting for the fills. I'm not quite sure. This is Chris and I chatting. I tell you, hey, there's an image. Boom. This is us in Portugal, and we ran into this lady. She was a funny lady, a French lady, Eddie's girlfriend, and she had a picture of a chicken, of course, in her kitchen. We were thinking about buying the place. Jesus, do I ever look like a washed out bum, eh? Oh, goodness. And totally candid. Brian, he doesn't give a flap of what he looks like. Had I known that that's what people would see, I probably would have shaved my head. But anyway, so Eddie was posting pictures of Brian's with chickens there in the lounge this morning. Andrea's lady. Where is Andrea? Is Andrea back? Because I did see an Andrea, but I don't know whether it was our Italian Andrea. There's a good old Colin and his you often hear me talk about Colin's dump chaser zone and pump chaser zone. That's Colin. And I tell you, if anything, you want an anecdote that we're probably getting ready for the sort of second half of this crypto insanity. All the big names have all moved up. Look what's starting to actually saucer out here and get ready to go. Remember, I banged out just an absolute insane win on one of these names. Size, I think it was. It was like 5 or 6 doubles or something like that on just one coin. So I mean, like, and actually this is interesting because Jim and Liz there, Jim and Liz just said hello, Brian and TRI there in the YouTube chat there, and I actually met them right at this point. In fact, actually, I was at their place. We were watching the Super Bowl last January. Man, did you watch that game, San Francisco against Buffalo there a couple of weeks ago? I don't know whether Jimmy remembers or not, but I'm a big fan of Buffalo. So I was thinking about you guys while Buffalo was spanking your team's butt. That was fun. Just kidding. Anyway, point of the matter here is I had actually challenged them, and I had said, you know what, don't get too excited right here in the short term. We were going through this phase, but I said you got to be here 1 year from now. So interesting how we went through that big blow off top, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they probably weren't prepared. I remember Adam and I, Adam, of course, is the person who referred Jim and Liz, and we took off and headed down to some crazy Central American country. El Salvador, that was kind of a bizarre experience. And remember the British cokeheads. Hey, there's Colony's over there too. He's everywhere. Anyway, so point of the matter here is I told them, I said, look, I want you to make damn sure that you stick around for 1 full year. So in a weird sort of way, you can kind of see how this market went from like, okay, we were, circle jerking. Then we had to go through a big wipeout and, of course, destroy all the noobs coming in and chasing the up market. Then we had to go at base, and look at what's happened here. Hello. And look at that beautiful W on really nice volume there. So get ready. The funny thing is, and we know this, these coins like Pepe here, for example, it's completely worthless. It's this total garbage. It's the kids are, I got to get my market cap to my coin that I just listed on Solana to $1 million so I can rug all these fuckers and head off and go and buy my condo down in some Central American country and live like a little despot for the rest of my life. There's no fucking way I'm working. So just understand what you're getting involved in if you're playing these silly little meme coins. It's probably some little guy who's put together the thing and he's running it up, and then he's just going to rug you at the very last minute and then, run off, abscond with your money. And, this isn't anything new. I mean, this is the story of venture capital, right? You want to know what venture capital is. And again, this is along the lines of good old money masters. You want to, if you want to make money from trading, and you want to be on the winning side of this game, Pepe is God's coin. All right, there you go. You got to understand who this guy is, and you got to make damn sure that you're not on the other side of him. Because keep in mind, a lot of these kind of pump us up here, it's exactly the same people as this guy. Or, you go to my Twitter feed, the reason why I have this image right here, and actually both these images, because this guy here, he's a blatant con artist in the crypto space. I might argue the guy who actually sort of did the confidence scam game that got me sort of interested in Ubiq to begin with, he's long gone. Can't find him anywhere. So and it's interesting because he was the guy who interviewed this guy on his funny little show, Block Talk. So it's fascinating how this is the brutal, corrupt, in-your-face scam. I might actually argue the guy that ran this original story, he's kind of like the soft sell scam, right? If anything, he would be like the Dan Freeberg. The soft sell, he's not, he's going to come to your board meeting with his glasses and his big smile and all this kind of stuff. And you're going to go, oh, I could trust that guy. Yeah, he looks like a pretty honest, straightforward guy. And he's going to completely sell you out the moment he has an opportunity. And then go buy like a big farm property in Southern Ontario and big fancy trucks and the whole damn thing and just completely disappear. So it's just the way capitalism works. It's a bit tragic, but unfortunately, these humans, they don't change. It's exactly the same thing. And, this is why it's so important that you understand that no, this time is not different. This time is exactly like every other time. It's always exactly the same. But the hallmark of the very end of the move is the people that didn't get in at the bottom, or the people that did get at the bottom have made a chunk of money, and then they're doing things like shilling website subscriptions and stuff, and they're desperate for new customers to keep the damn Fakezi going. They all of a sudden say, no, 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 you know what? This time it's different. We're going to keep going. So keep coming in here, keep buying, and we're all going to just keep getting more and more and more and more rich, right? But unfortunately, that's not the way the game works. So just understand the context of where we are. And if anything, this is a great testament to the tools that we've actually built at TRI to try and really help you keep you out of trouble. The weekly commodity trend survey in itself, this is what I used to use as, okay, well, this is a commodity that's worth taking a good look at. And that's just simply we want to try and find assets that are trading at the bottom ends of their 52-week ranges and are starting to show signs of momentum. And the problem here is, you see our crypto top 30. Look how many names are either I'm actually willing to actually start hunting a short setup, actually shorting the asset, or versus, and this is 99% of the time, it just simply the weekly commodity trend survey is going to be like, well, you could go and buy it if you want, but if you're here to make money from trading, well, you're kind of you're kidding yourself. So, I think a really, really good example is this is the kind of stuff that I want to buy. At the bottom end of the range, start spitting up W's on volume. But, and like I said, this is a perfect sales pitch for the website and our tools. As I said just a moment ago, you actually look at a lot of these assets and no, they're nowhere near at the bottom ends of their ranges. I mean, they just take a random one here. Let's look at this one here. Bitcoin. You ever heard of Bitcoin? I don't know. And actually, interesting Litecoin here. Pepe. Hey, there's Pepe. Uh-oh. Actually, that must be a different Pepe. There's so many different. I think there's like 20 different names. That was Pepe on Solana. I don't know what this Pepe is. Let's see. The chart must look completely different. But yeah. So, I can't buy something like that there. Value is down here, especially for like the weekly commodity trend survey, right? This is, I want to come in and buy value. And, I do like it, like this Filecoin, Matic, Render, I think actually it's very attractive. I have bids working to buy some of, actually a lot of these names, but unfortunately I can't buy them now where they are now because they're just too expensive. Remember, I'm a cheap ass, right? I'm here to not lose money. I don't know. It's probably not the friendliest pitch, but just try and understand that you're coming into what I would actually consider not a cheap market. And I think I even posted online that it's just starting to feel nosebleedy again. And that's the worst part about risk in the marketplace, especially if they run prices up really violently very quickly. And I think actually, yeah, this gentleman right here, this is the guy who said, I'm taking profits. I'm just ringing the register. And frankly speaking, I don't actually argue with him. There's no way in hell I could buy Bitcoins up there. I do think that there were, especially coming through the election, I think there were some half decent little technical setups for trades, but little old lady buying and no brainer. There's no way in hell, like if I was running a brokerage book, that I would have my little old ladies coming in and buying Bitcoin here. I just wouldn't. And I know what the cost of production is. I mean, this is what gets scary about Bitcoin at $100,000. And I do think that there's a bit of a trap being laid here is if we go and ask Dan, what do you think? Should we buy Bitcoins? Oh yeah, get in there and buy them. You're going to get rich. Don't disregard what the indicators are saying. Oh, wait a minute. That's another guy. Name starts with a D, though. Kind of interesting. Coincidence? I don't know. But what I wanted to show you was, there are some fairly large mining companies now that mine Bitcoin. So, I just the other day, in the way that they've got these browsers set up now, half of the like embedded with AI and all that crap. So you can even just ask questions and get a half decent answer. So I just even asked a question like, what is Mara's cost to produce one Bitcoin? Something as simple as that. And oh, hello. Stock says 96,000 a Bitcoin? I don't know. Bitcoin production cost hit 49,500. All right, well, that's a little different. I also did Hut 8, which I thought was a good one. Hut's cost per BTC 19,500. Ooh, it's a bit different than where prices are right now. Then I did another one, and actually, I guess based on how you phrase this, you get different results. There's Riot. Average cost to mine Bitcoin, including depreciation, was 35,376. So compared to negative 22,000 per Bitcoin for the same 3 months, I'm not quite sure what I understand that to be. But somebody had asked in the TRI Lounge the other day, what do you make out of, there's one website where, and I'm not quite sure where the hell it came from. It wouldn't even surprise me if it was created to kind of confuse the public, where they had like something like, oh, the average cost to produce a Bitcoin is $75,000. And I'm like, what? I'm not quite sure how that works. So I don't know, there's 41,000. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I thought maybe, just come on here and just say, what does it cost to mine one Bitcoin? I don't know, see what the internet says. So mining Bitcoin depends on your energy. It costs 11,000 at 10 cents an hour and 5,000 at 4.5 cents an hour. So I mean, obviously there is equipment costs and insurance and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what your cost to mine is, but I guess just the point here is these numbers are nowhere near $100,000. So, our mining, and if anything, you could make the argument this is why crypto mining companies will do so well in this cycle, is there are going to be a lot of Wall Street people that look at like, Hut or Riot or Marta, right? And if you have a cost to produce like 20, 30,000, which I think is probably fair, somewhere in that area for these big sort of economies of scale kind of operations, then number one, you don't have any concerns whatsoever at the price where it is now. You probably only start really getting seriously concerned if maybe Bitcoin goes below $30,000, $40,000. I could see that, the next cycle divot, if you will probably bring Bitcoin probably back down into those levels, which is interesting because then we can start doing some really simple extrapolation and say, all right, well, if the price comes down to roughly the cost of production, which is basically what it did the previous cycles, maybe a little bit more, but the point is somewhere around that area. And we know that Bitcoin likes to correct about 80% of the previous cycle's peak. Then by definition, if we're looking for a trough of, let's say, I don't know, 30,000, just pick a random number. then that means by definition that the price of a Bitcoin must have to go up to what? Hell of a lot of, I guess, what, 150,000 US? 30,000 would be an 80% correction. Is that right? I think I got my numbers right. 90% correction would be 15,000. And actually, I think I've seen a lot of people sort of look for that somewhere between 150, 200,000 for a cycle peak here. So I think everything's basically humming along business as usual. The problem that I think you have to face in the short term here is, the party just can't go on indefinitely. It just can't. At some point, the whole damn thing runs out of steam. It's just, if it's one thing playing the market 35 years, it may go on and on and on. You're just like, oh my God, this party's endless. It just never will end. And then one day, boom, it ends, and that's the end of that. I think on balance, and this is my stock market page. I think on balance, and being the Sunday show, we might as well just stick with crypto. We don't really need to talk too much about stock market. Where do I want to guess over here? We're just humming along, just business as usual. This is that 4 years, spring, summer, fall, winter kind of thinking. And of course, here are the various different associated moves. This really is predicated on the idea of like, what is the cost of money? And actually an interesting image, which makes me feel as though Bitcoin prices in other currencies are probably going to go up quite a bit more. Like, for instance, in China D's currency, Bitcoin's already 140,000. So, you could make the argument that it crossed that psychologically important $100,000 level a long time ago. So, in the near term, and we've talked about this quite a bit, 2.618, 4.669, 200% parking garage. We're basically into the parking garage level. Any kind of top anywhere in this area would make perfect sense. And of course, the big fat round number, oof, as well. And I thought this was interesting. I don't think I have it on here. If we do a bot from say that low to that high, actually maybe it's just this range. Boom, 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 boom. This is also a bot take profit objective. So I mean, like 4 or 5 different reasons to look for price to top out in here somewhere. Technically, this makes perfect sense. Totally understandable, totally realistic, totally justifiable. And you can see 2.618, which is, I think, a really powerful magnet sitting there at about 112. And I could very easily see, you notice how like we went up, we sort of flirted with the 100,000, then we backed off. I think you could actually make an argument that this is a trading range unto itself. And the move above 100,000 should be almost exactly the same size as the move below this 100,000. In essence, you can almost think of this as like a little mini sine wave all around the 100, where price will just oscillate around like that. So, you could even come up with some half decent little like lower time frame objectives just off of this chart. All right, so there's that big move. And again, this is a valuable lesson for all of you watching on YouTube. I don't know how. So somebody please call up CNBC and revoke Mr. Jim Cramer's. He has absolutely no business telling you where markets are likely to go and where they aren't. He's more often than not, he's stunningly wrong. So, the interesting thing is why would he make a point like Bitcoin will never hit 100,000? That's about the most amateur statement you can possibly make from a guy who's been working in the market for like ever. So why on earth would he make a statement like that? I mean, it's just just like the most, it's like what you would expect some guy who just maybe is wearing a Gucci sweater and has been in the market for about a year. And all of a sudden he calls himself, well, I'm a pro. I know Bitcoin backwards. Okay, those are the kind of guys that would make a statement like Bitcoin will never hit $100,000. But Mr. Kramer making that statement, something really, really stinks about all of that. Really, really badly. I don't understand the motivation there, but it just clearly goes to show, uh, yeah, this species is just outright evil. That's just like the dumbest statement you could possibly make. It's like really dumb. And the guy who gets paid, probably like $50 million a year to sit there in front of that CNBC camera. And like, why? Why would he make such a dumb amateur statement like that? Is he maybe trying to manipulate the viewers? Like, why would he do that? And this is countless. I tell everybody in our education program about the horrific treatment of Mr. John Roth, who actually sold all of his stock in a company called Nortel Networks. He got one of these stupid Canadian banks to buy all his stock off of him at $90 a share. And of course, within like 2 or 3 years, the stock was worthless, zero. You couldn't even wipe your ass with the share certificates because it would cost more money to actually get the share certificate issued and sent to you than the stock was worth. So you couldn't even use it as toilet paper. You'd have to pay somebody to issue the share cert. On top of the fact that, you bought 1,000 shares of Nortel at like $85 a share. Way to go, you doofus. And yet the gentleman who was making fun of Mr. Blinder, or I beg your pardon, Mr. Roth, for selling his stock at $90 a share, which is actually an incredibly smart move, he actually was laughing at Mr. Roth. His name was Alan Blinder. And he actually went on to become like Obama's like chief economic whatever, blah, blah, blah. Total nonsense, garbage positions. These stupid bureaucrats, they have no skin in the game. They really don't know what the hell's going to happen in the economy. They're just like literally just, okay, what is the 1%'s desire here? Like, keep in mind, CNBC, for example, for the longest time, it was a completely independent entity. It was this funny little subsidiary of NBC, and it was only on cable TV, and it had a very, very small viewership, just like the brokers and people who are actually into the stock market. And then, of course, we went through that crazy baby boomer generation into the build out of the end of the 20th century. And Jack Welch came along and bought CNBC well, actually, he went and bought like NBC, I think, bought the whole damn network, General Electric. And for the longest time, none of the CNBC hosts were ever allowed to say anything negative about General Electric. And then it turns out that the whole goddamn thing was a fugazi, and General Electric, the stock just absolutely collapsed after it was revealed that they're actually went into the financial services industry. And Mr. Welsh, the farthest thing, General Electric being like a turbine manufacturer and electric heavy industry, all of a sudden now they became like one of the biggest money lenders in the United States. And it was all a con job. And as soon as the fucking house of cards fell apart, that whole General Electric dream just completely collapsed. But nobody at CNBC was allowed to say one negative word about GE through that whole run up. So it's fascinating in my lifetime to actually see the corruption of the media. That CNBC and the evolution of that network and what it's turned into now with this Jim Cramer guy making these horrifically amateur statements just to manipulate the public when, clearly in hindsight, the big fat round number there was no way this market was not going to be able to hit that level. Now, do we stall out here? That's a very good possibility. But to make that kind of statement on air and get paid the ridiculous amounts of money that he does clearly shows that that whole broadcast is horribly corrupt. And he's serving somebody else's purposes and making really, really bad market calls, probably on purpose. Anyway, there's a fun little rant for you. Having said that, as I had said there earlier, where I was taking this conversation, I wouldn't be surprised. This to me actually looks like a diamond pattern, and it really doesn't surprise me. What's probably going to happen here is this thing's going to probably just oscillate around this level for a while. It would not surprise me one bit. But I had said there just a few minutes ago, I would not be surprised if that was actually a trading range. And probably naturally, all we're going to want to do is, and this would be like the parking garage concept, all we're going to want to do is just simply replicate this range to the upside. So where's our extension? There we go. So 200%, what did we say? There's 116. Then we go back to our weekly price chart because that's what we drew this off of. Remember, and we had all of those fun little levels all in there. So the top of this range, actually, isn't that interesting? I did it off of that. Remember, I had said earlier that it was this one. So actually, that's why it was good to do that. Actually, I kind of like that. Ooh, look at the confluence there. So this, I guess, was off of the previous low to the actual 100,000 being tagged. But notice how this range, if we replicate that now on top here, notice 200%, we're basically going to bang up against these levels. And interesting how this 200% of this range extension, is exactly the same as that 200%. Do you think that's an accident? I don't think so. So if I was thinking, floors and ceilings in the market, and I do like this because this is well above 100,000. So any of the looky-loos that are all like, oh, 100,000, I got to buy that, right? They're all going to get sucked in. And for probably a couple weeks, they're going to feel pretty good and all that kind of fun stuff. And then they look back, hindsight being 2020, into the March eclipse. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't see any reason why we don't trade back down to this trend channel line right here. It seems logical. And if we just do a simple wherever the top is, let's, in this particular case, we assume that we were going to tag up these high levels here. I don't know. I guess that seems relatively reasonable. And actually, that's what this is, right? The reload zone off of that low, right? At the very least, at any given point in time. Now, remember, and this is an interesting segue. I'm going to bring this all around. Let's see if you can remember. What was the level that we should expect the market to trade back to at any given point in time? Any given point in time, you should expect this. And that's basically your bottom prior to the election. So what did we say was at any given point in time, we should expect the market to come back to this level? Close. Think Colin. Where's Colin? I think Colin's over there. There you go. So where is Colin and his pump chasers? Let's see where they are. Survey says, where's the pump chasers? It's on here somewhere. There it is. Boom. Hello. So at any given point in time, this is assuming, of course, we get up and tag these high levels. Maybe we stall out at that 200%. I don't know. But notice we should, at any given point in time, expect a revisit at least down to what is that? 86? Like between 80 and $85,000 at any given point in time. Now, if things start to fall apart, maybe we put in like an M or something, then I would start to think about things like reload zones. 61.8, 78.6, that kind of thing. And that might actually get me to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to actually just entertain the idea of working a stink bid against that double bottom there. And everybody at TRI knows that that's a setup that we actually teach. 78.6 in line with previous market structure. Be interesting to see whether you can actually regurgitate what is the name of that setup where we have previous market structure against 78.6s. And it's a pretty damn good trade setup. I'll tell you that much, by crackers. I wouldn't be surprised. It'll suck horse, what's. And I wouldn't be surprised. I still think that the banksters want to murder Mr. Trump. I don't think that they're done. And if I understand correctly, they're not even counting the third attempt now. And they always say that these things come in threes. So if anything, if I was Mr. Trump, I'm on inauguration day, and I wouldn't put it past these Rothschilds. They might even just murder him right on the inauguration stage. I could see them do that. Send a very clear message to the American public who is running this show. I could very easily see that. Anyway, point of the matter here is this is going to be an interesting window here. I definitely do like the idea. This would be 61.8, 78.6. This would be a full technical retrace of this range here. And I do like the idea that it comes somewhere between that sort of March eclipse window. I definitely like that. So unfortunately, you can't write better fiction than reality. It's impossible. Don't even try. Who predicted a few years ago that Mr. Trump's going to win here? You can't write better fiction than reality. So I don't know what the reason is that this market rolls over and heads back down. I don't think we're at a top yet. Keep in mind, this is the inauguration over here. So, the tweet that I put out associated with this video here today for the newsletter is I really do like, and I don't see any reason why this can't happen. It seems perfectly logical to me. We're in, interestingly enough, we're in the phase of the market now where everybody and their brother is going to go into the business of calling the top. This is the top. This is the top. No, this is the top. This is the top. Guys like this. And I actually think that that's dangerous for your health. I don't think it's a good idea for you to get into the business of calling tops and bottoms in the markets. It's not worth it. The market will top when it tops. And the point here, of course, is you have to recognize what are the signs of top. And one of them being we're at the top end of the trading range and we're a million miles above things like 50% rules. And things like 38.2, you should expect Ray Burchett levels traded back to at any given point in time. And then, of course, if you start seeing things like indicators going into divergence and stuff, those are all the signs that, hey, the last thing in the world you want to be doing is actually buying right now. We're not, and if anything, what your plan should be, and this is the way that I approach the market, is I want to spoon feed the market. I think I had told you when I woke up this morning, I got handed a really nice treat with this funny little sushi. And it's like, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. They're going to give me a pile of money. I'll take the money. But at the same time, too, I'm not going to get into the business of calling the top and this is the top of the market and I'm going to sell everything. I don't know where the hell the top is. And any of you that actually are in the business of actually predicting these tops and you are accurate, well, fucking A, man, get on the website and I'll be more than happy to entertain you. But I haven't met anybody who's been very good at calling these tops. They just are what they are. We trade setups, right? And, if the market goes up, great, the market goes up. And pay yourself for your efforts. Where's that funny little sushi? There it is there, $2.41. Jesus, look at that. I got filled here on the sell side at 265 and today's high is 269. Damn. Now that's some trading. But hopefully you look at this image and you kind of go, okay, well, that Beamish guy is not calling a top, but does it kind of make sense that if you see a market looking like this maybe you should be like spoon feeding the market, maybe paying yourself for your efforts. Well, I mean, that's the message. I did connect my laptop here today because I have a lot of charts on the laptop that I don't seem to have on the big computer. In fact, just feeling like shit. I just stayed in bed most of yesterday. But I think I have the actual, and even this morning I was posting and stuff from the site. So let me see if I can find that chart to show you what I was thinking about. Uh, hmm. Oops. Oh, trading view, you cocksucking sons of bitches. Just give me a second here. So I'm gonna have to jump through a hurdle. It's on here somewhere. Sorry, folks. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. Where is the write-up? Oh, goodness. Over here? Oh, damn it. All right. Well, that didn't work. I wanted to try and use my laptop at the same time. I brought it into the room here with me, but that was a disaster. Okay, how am I going to do this? Let's go. Actually, I think I showed you this. I tweeted it out here earlier today, right? Yeah, there it is. All right. So, and actually, you can't even see this now, but I have my next sell half on a double. This is what I'm wondering, like, where the hell is this damn chart? I thought I had it on my laptop here, but I don't see it. I'll try one more thing. Anyway, so you can see where my next sell half on a double order is. I don't have any expectation that it is going to be filled. I don't have any expectation that it isn't going to be filled. It just is working. All right. Don't really want to have an opinion. I just want to simply get paid for my efforts if the market affords me the opportunity. It's just that simple. So I can't find the damn chart. So anyway, point here is we spiked above this shod level. I have my next shod level, and you can see 38.2 is all the way up here. I mean, just to give you an idea, I would expect on any normal market state that this thing goes back to 50% levels. But at the same time, too, just because I do expect this thing to move a little bit higher here, I mean, let's just show you where the hell is 50%. I mean, it's there, it is way up there. That's $8.29. I don't see any reason why this thing can't go up here. You hear me talk about, where are these people sleeping? They desperately want to get off the couch. So candle body highs and lows for trade location. Well, geez, we're going to be trading up here. But I don't have a time horizon on that. And I wouldn't put a time horizon on that. If we look at this on the daily chart, you go, oh my goodness, look at that. Holy crap. Is it going to keep going? It might, but I doubt it. These things very rarely do. So I'm not going to put a stopwatch on when this thing is going to peter itself out. That's not my job. My job is, I snuck myself in, and I even didn't really have that great of an average cost on this thing. My average cost from back buying here was actually up in this area, right? About $1.20 something, right in there. So I bought a little bit more, bought some more, right? So I had basically an average cost there. That's double my average cost. So boom, out goes half. But just don't think. Just get that risk-free trade going. Now, I don't have any risk on this. I don't know what's going to happen here going forward. This fill was actually right up there. Just absolute sick fill. I have no idea where the hell this thing's going. I really don't know. Having said that, I don't have any risk. And this is the way, like I said, mid 50s. I mean, it's actually a bit surprising that I have as much hair as I do, considering my crazy ass fucking life. But I try, especially when it comes to risking money in the marketplace, I try to keep the stress about the whole situation as minimal as possible. So I don't know if that helps or not. Now, you tell me. I mean, you see that chart. Is Brian going to come in and say, oh, yeah, you know what? You're perfectly fine going in and buying that. You'll make great money going forward. You know the answer to that. And ironically enough, if I actually did want to buy this, this is where this stuff is so cool. Is here's our reload zone. There is the most recent market structure breakout level. And what a shock. The reload zone and 78.6 is that level. Now, didn't we just talk about this a second ago? What kind of setup is that at TRI? And, you know, if you're relatively new to the site, no big deal. The site itself is just an absolute treasure trove of information. I mean, regardless of this is all automated stuff, right? And of course, I don't think sushi is on the top 30 anymore. It might be, but I don't think it is. No, I don't see it here. But clearly, you know, the way that this works is we're just going to take the 52-week high, the 52-week low, add them together and divide by 2. That comes up with the 50% level. So if we're below the 50% level, we're going to get a positive reading. And then it is the fast moving average above the slow moving average. If it is, then you're going to get a positive reading. So you can see, and keep in mind, this is a bit old now. I think Filecoin has jumped up, but when it was $5.55, it was like literally 50% move just back to the 50% level. And the fast moving average is above the slow moving average. So it makes sense why it would be attractive. Problem is, though, that I don't think Filecoin looks like that now. So, you know, you got to respect the message. Good old Filecoin. Let's see what's happened. Well, there's your rally, right? So indeed, right, we said the 50% level there was, do we actually have a 50% level? Was $7.34. So does it make sense that the asset now is sitting basically at the 50% level? This asset has done exactly what it's supposed to do. And this is why I still think that sushi can go higher, because you can make the argument, you know, 52-week range, there's your low, there's your high, where's the 50% level? Right there. You know, this was like, you know, if you're watching this video for the very first time and maybe you're brand new to technical analysis, this was the very first lesson that I learned 1,000,000 years ago. And yes, I've been trading for 1,000,000 years. Don't I look pretty good? No gray hair? Hairline's kind of going though, but 1,000,000 years, I don't look too bad for a millionaire. Oh, million-year-old. Technically, I have been trading for 1,000,000 years, and I am a millionaire. So, mind you, a millionaire doesn't even mean anything these days. Can't even buy a goddamn house in Vancouver being a millionaire. That's ridiculous. So, anyway. So, tongue in cheek, RR. Point here is, hopefully you can understand that is the logic of the 52-week 50% level. That if assets are sitting down here and they start Wing out and the moving averages start crossing bullishly, which probably happened right down in there. Let's see if we have a read on that. There you go. And what's so cool about these scripts, I love this about TRI. We have so many people that are like really good at actual programming, like you know, Pine script and stuff like that. That they've even created some of these indicators with even just really helpful little hey, you know, Brian's turning bullish. So, you know, and actually Jim and Liz are over there. This is exactly what you guys are here to learn. And why I wanted you to stick around a year. So can you see how there's the 50% level? There is the, all right, time to get uber bullish. You can see there is the W. Hell, I think you could probably even just simply take from this the double bottom breakout level there. There it is, plain as day. Would have been a little bit hard to take, but nonetheless, right there. There's the moving averages crossing up. So this thing's in full on bull mode right now. And whoa, what a surprise. Doink. Not a big surprise whatsoever. So, point here though is that sadly, when the system updates itself, like last week, we were still well below that 50% level. But now that we've hit that 50% level, unfortunately, this is probably going to turn into a muh now on this guy. So, muh, and think of like, 9 times out of 10, when you ask a really good trader or investor, oh, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, meh, whatever, whatever, whatever. And probably if you've been following me over the past 10 years, like 95% of the time when you guys ask me about something, I say, no, too expensive. No, wait for the reload zone. No, it's gone. No, you missed the trade. That's what good investing is all about, folks. The irony of it all is that we just had a window pass. And the good part about it is that TRI's signaling system was right on fucking cue. So we just, if you had looked at this 6 months ago, most of these names were like attractive, 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 or even hunting buys. Now you can see everything is either avoid or muh, with only a couple names, and even Filecoin's now going to fall off that attractive list. And I got to say, one thing I absolutely love, and, it's great that we were able to show you this, is we actually even have a page right on this platform, the crypto page. Keep in mind, these are pre-formatted pages that I've put together just to try and help me. They are sort of the dashboard screener package that I sort of really wanted to be able to replicate my 1980s website. So this is the crypto list, crypto look. Interesting, we actually had a little bit of a bullish cross here in the momentum signal. So I suppose that's a good sign. Having said that, it's coming off of a short-term oversold condition here. And the medium term is still very much pointing down. So I would like to see this medium term sort of bottom out and ideally be below that 20. And this moving average slowly come down here below 20. And that will tell us that we've got a really kick-ass buy signal here in crypto. Right now, as you can sort of see, I think what's happened here is we had the market short term. It got pretty oversold there. And we should have expected some sort of bounce on that like crypto top 30. Keep in mind, most of the crypto top 30 is Brian's not really overly impressed with any of this stuff now. Okay, it's too expensive for me to even think about investing. We had that short-term oversold condition resolved, but now you can see what I'm waiting for. And I've told you this before. I mean, it works really, really well. Is I want to see that this medium term also gets pretty oversold. And I don't think that that's going to happen right away. I think what happens here is we're just going to bound around in here for the next little while. And what, for us to actually have the, hey, this is a no-brainer value market, get ready, get your together. The market's about to go crazy is when you see that medium term slip into the oversold condition. So everything's oversold. And the short term is in that oversold condition. And of course, the easy way for you to see that visually is if we pull up the histogram. Where is it? There it is there. And you have both the short term and the medium term washed out. So, and I don't think we're at that kind of market state. And we probably won't see that. In my humble opinion, I don't think that we actually see that market state again until we get into this eclipse window. I think right now we're going to sort of, waffle around up here for a little bit, and it's going to be choppy. And then I think there needs to be some sort of big thumping to punish all the kids that are coming in and chasing this up market here. That's my very frank, very humble opinion. Having said that, I did put out tweets recently. Like I said, I don't have a sell signal here now. And I do think that the market as a catalyst is working its way into the inauguration. I hope to God the guy can survive through this. But you never know. Simpsons predicted that he was going to be assassinated. Well, we'll see what happens. But here we are. This is December, the week of December 2nd, right? And today is the 8th. The 20th of January is still well over a month away. So could we very easily, and keep in mind, this is the kind of market state they call this climbing the wall of worry, where everybody and their brother is going to come out with comments like that. Well, Bitcoin's hit 100,000. I'm selling everything I'm getting out. And of course, unfortunately, as long as we keep hearing that kind of talk, the market's just going to go and embarrass them. That's what the market's job is to do. The market has got to get to the point where you, not knowing what you're doing in the market, you look at this guy here and you go, this idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Look at the market keeps going higher. Get in there and buy and you'll do perfectly fine. Or same thing like Jim Cramer. Market will never trade to 100,000. And boom, the next fucking week, there it is at 100,000. Well, that Jim Cramer guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Get in there and buy, right? I mean, this is the way the capitalist game works, folks. There's nothing new going on here. The question I have to ask, and I went off on a tangent there earlier, is why was Mr. Cramer making those kind of comments? And damn, that's awfully amateur of him. What the fuck? That's a dumb statement of him. But let's not go back there. Point here is, oh geez, I was just getting going. How did I waste it? I don't know how I do this. I mean, what I wanted to show you on my laptop was actually using the system. And Chris just told me here I'm running out of time. But, we'll just quickly show you this. This is the screener. If you're on the platform and, let's say you've loaded up your crypto page and it's first thing in the morning. I mean, I hope you can all appreciate that. Okay, this is a mixed market, but when you load up the platform and you go, all right, is this a market where, oh my God, I'm gonna go and make a ton of money, and this is the time when I got to be laser beam focused and get ready and get all my capital and get your shit together and all that. Oh, my throat's killing me. No, it isn't. So that's the first piece of value that you take away being a subscriber at TRI. Then you say, okay, well, you know what? I'm still interested in hunting names. So let's go, maybe, I don't know, let's just go look through the crypto universe, see if there's any names that actually look interesting. I've banged out some doubles and I've got a bunch of capital sitting there. And let's see if there's any names that are like, well, they're kind of laggards. They're just setting up now. So I might take a shot at this and, consider it a trade. So you see, we got 800 names in our universe. Now that's pretty damn big shopping list. And all I did first thing this morning, and I walked through this. I have all the charts on my laptop, but of course can't show you because it's an absolute mess. But all I did was I just loaded up this screen. Now, you've been working with me long enough. Jim and Liz, you should be able to answer this. Does that asset look like it's at the bottom end of its trading range? And if somebody wants to help Liz and Jim out answering the question, this doesn't take rocket scientists to answer this question. Do you see W's here that you can buy today? This is how you can use the platform. You can load this up. It's really, really easy. And this is what the value of your subscription is. No, 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 no. Maybe, but it looks like there's the W there. So sorry, no. Oh, interesting. Little stock, but that's a stock. What the fuck is it doing in our crypto universe? I did notice this kind of a funny. A few stocks have actually snuck through, and I don't know how the hell they have tags of crypto. But anyway, so we're going to disregard that. That's a stock. No, no, no. Do you see how overbought this market is? This is a really easy way to keep you out of a lot of trouble. No, no, no. No. Do you see this? I mean, it's every goddamn market. You can't buy this market. Oh, there's one. All right. So this is interesting. AGLD versus Euro. Now, what does that setup kind of look like? Hint, hint, hint. One higher low, two higher lows. Hey, that looks like a W. There it is. AGLD versus USD. Yeah, you might hunt a bot setup off of that. But getting back to the original conversation, there's the W. So no. So now do you see why things like the crypto universe, right? Just this is just the top 30 names, but you can go through the whole damn crypto universe. It's the same thing. All of them are meh. I mean, and then and more importantly, a lot of them, just think 52-week high, 52-week low. Where is it relative to its 50% level? A lot of them are actually like avoid. And actually interesting, this TON is actually telling us, maybe you might even want to hunt a short there. I'd just be curious. Let's see what that TON kind of looks like. Yeah, well, it makes sense. That's a 3-bar fractal. That's an inside bar. This is a V bottom. That's off a new low. If this is a momentum divergence, which, oh, yeah, a little bit right there. That was the high in the momentum indicator. You can see RSI. That was the high in price. That was a lower high. Willie is officially stupid. Look at the M in OBV. You get an M in price here. I mean, I personally, I don't really like shorting venture capital, but I wouldn't fault you. What I would just simply say is, look at, if you are interested in coming in on the buy side, well, you just draw your reload zones. This isn't rocket science, and right, you're going to work your bid down at the bottom ends of excuse me, trading range. Right now, maybe even take a look at trying to sneak your way in down at good old Brian 78.6. And what is the trend of this market? Well, it's there to there. That's the trend. Look how the market respected the trend line right there. Boom, boom, right? So could you have the market come back down to this 78.6 and just play back against this trend line? Sure, why not? Are you kind of asking for trouble coming in and buying the top end of the market? I would actually argue that at this point, it's like literally a coin toss, whether you make or lose money. Either or could happen. And then if you did actually buy here and then you see a big M come in here, oh, now what the hell do I do? And look at this M, up, down, up. See you later. They always say the market takes the stairs up and the escalator down. So maybe tomorrow I'll go through this a little bit in more detail. But the long and short of it here, actually, this is the screener, so this is slightly different. But the long and short of it here is, if you go through this universe, and actually I even found a name, and maybe we'll leave off the rant here with this. I even found a name here this morning that I was like, you know what? That is a W. I think I'll go and buy some of that. So it does happen. Call me crazy. It was what the hell did I buy? And I even of course, as soon as I buy, I tell everybody on the site that I've gone and bought. And where are we here? Brian's trade. What did Brian buy? I bought this a giga. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen, but you know how much that Brian guy likes those W's. So I went and bought a little bit of the W. That's just the kind of guy I am. But I can't buy that, can't buy that, can't buy that, right? And we have to, I just went through all of the pages here. Interesting. We have currency trades coming up on here. Okay, keep in mind, that's the one thing I absolutely love about this crypto is you get all these currency. There's some really interesting currency setups. Like right now, I actually really like the euro versus the US dollar, because it's gotten absolutely smoked here recently. But like, I mean, all of these cryptocurrencies, you can't buy them. They've all gone up way too far. So let's see if I can just fast forward to the G's just so I can show you what that chart looks like. And all I did was I just simply went through and just looked at chart after chart after chart. It's so easy. And this is the great part about this platform is you can see every single one. You should all look at this CHC and go, yeah, there's no way in hell I can buy that. It's gone. It's too far, too fast. But look at this cloud. I don't know what this cloud is, but that's interesting. Look how he's coming back down. No W's yet. The moving average just crosses over bearish. So I can't really touch that yet. But it is interesting. That is one that is actually coming into trade location. But most of the universe just looks like poop. You can't touch this. Or, I mean, you can do any old damn thing you want with your money. But the statistical odds of you making money versus you getting bitch slapped are actually kind of low if you go and chase. I do like this thing, though. That's interesting. DBR. So that might be worth taking a good look at afterward. I wanted to show you that Giga just so you can see what the difference looks like in the images. And I mean, you can see, I mean, we got 17 pages of these coins for you to just simply go and sort through, including a couple stocks in here that shouldn't be in the list. Why they're there? I don't know. Anyway, you can see these are all ETH pairs and stuff now. Yeah, so I pulled up this chart. Now you should see this chart and you should go, oh shit, that looks like something that Brian might buy. And it turns out it's the euro versus the US dollar. I thought that was hilarious. So the system is actually telling me to take a futures trade, go long euros versus US dollars. Isn't that funny? Look at euro versus the Canadian dollar. That looks like that's a damn, that looks like a double bottom within a double bottom. Look at euro dollar versus Australian dollars. It's already massively broken out. So isn't that a cool way to use the platform? It's totally not the way you're supposed to use it. Also, too, you can see we have a lot of these sort of, stable coin kind of ideas. I think that's what those are. I'm not sure. We will be working on ways to filter this even more for you. But and actually, EWT, this is interesting. This is the Energy Webs token. I've already got a shitload of this, so I certainly don't need any more. But isn't that an interesting little image there on EWT versus GBP? I think that's versus the British pound. There's EWT versus the euro already moved up quite a bit, so I can't touch that there. But interesting how versus the look at the FET. You can see where the FET was a buy like just a week or two ago. Can't buy it here. No reason why you can't throw a stink bid in and see if you can get bid filled on a pullback. And there was a chart that I had earlier which showed a huge pullback right down into that shark setup level. And that's exactly what the shark is all about. Because every once in a while, you get those one-day pullbacks. Look at this fluke. That looks like a bullish bot if I've ever seen one. You can pull that one up. There you go. There's an idea for you to chew on if you like trend continuation trades. Now, where the hell's the damn G's? I haven't even, there's Giga, so I can finally get to that G's to show you. But, as we said earlier, can I buy that? No. 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 No, no. In fact, that looks like, Zugi's name's actually looking like it's topping out a bit there, right? All right, now, where the hell is that Giga? Hello. Do you see why I would be interested in this Giga here? And isn't it cool how all I had to do was just keep surfing through the charts and eventually you'll find something that's spitting up a double bottom. I don't know what the fuck the thing's going to do, but I like W's. And when I see W's, I get excited. So I wanted to take the opportunity today and just show you how you can just surf through and look for these ideas. And this isn't even using the screener. All this was just doing was just pulling up the universe and just going through the names one by one by one. Let's see, where do I have this? So I've already added this guy to my shopping list. Where is it? Oh, isn't that interesting? It's not on there yet. Must be on the laptop. So GIGA USD. There's the bottom. Oh, look at that. Even got a nice little moving average crossover. I like this little guy. I mean, I don't know what the history of this is. It might be a lot higher, might be a lot lower, but I like to hunt W's on other sides of trend lines. That basically validates this. I like to see nice momentum. Don't see any signs of divergence. Willie is not stupid yet. So this thing's telling me so far, Brian, I don't have a problem being in this name. And, FYI, I went and just basically bought the W. I love W's. It's just who I am. But also remember, I also threw in a bid right at my favorite 78.6. So there's an example of actually something that I could actually go in and buy. So hopefully you enjoyed that. All right. I think we'll circle back over to that Q&A document, see if we can answer a couple questions in the next 10, 15 minutes. If there are more inquiries, please just post them in the DB request room if you are a site member. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you. I don't, Mr. Lito, I don't really want to comment on how Sjord has actually set up the system. I'm not quite sure why. If anything, we probably should have Sjord on the call specifically. And I don't really want to get into the mechanics of how the actual indicators are built and stuff on these calls, because what we've actually had happen in the past, again, terrible commentary on this stupid human species, is we literally have people go, "Oh, that's how you built it. Great." And they literally go off and they literally just copy the idea, that Da Vinci guy stealing the little old lady concept, and the German taxi cab driver now guy is like an expert, and they're teaching how that on earth they can actually call themselves expert. Don't even get me started. So the point of the matter here is, I'm not going to go into detail. Oh, you want to build a DI, do this, 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 and this, because half of the people here, I can't trust you for not stealing. So maybe, Lito, if you feel like it, you want to sign an NDA, maybe that's what we need to do to actually teach you how this is built. What I would also say too, though, is you can take the education program and we teach you how to build the DI index on TradingView. So you could, at that point, take that knowledge and go and build it on TradingView and all that. So there's your happy compromise. Having said that, I think I'm going to leave this question for tomorrow's video, which is internal, and nobody on like YouTube can just like hack it and steal the information and go and use it nefariously. Having said that, do you actually need to understand the mechanics of this to use the tool appropriately? No, you don't. Everything that I just described today on how you use the breadth signal is really all you need to actually use to trade this. Having said that, an update that we are working on right now is to put together little like 5-minute tutorial videos on the various different little facets of the Pro Dashboard package system. So be looking for that over the next couple of weeks, probably through the Christmas break, because keep in mind the school program will be on hiatus here as of next week. Well, I'll probably make a concerted effort through the holiday period to try and put those little video tutorials together for you. Other than that, I answered this person's question previously, so it doesn't look like I'll circle back around and look at this tomorrow, Lito, in earnest. But I'm not going to go into like how the system actually generates signals anyway. And yeah, I'm going to leave that conversation for now. We'll circle back around. We'll have that same conversation tomorrow behind the paywall, right? And all that kind of crap. Q&A document. Let's see where Chris is here. What time is it? Oh, I got about 10, 15 minutes left here. AMA, and it's probably the same question, but what the hell? We'll see how this goes. Ugh. Oh, I got 6 hours on the road ahead of me. Uh, Everybody say a special prayer for Brian keeping his head on straight here for this afternoon. It's gonna be a bit challenging. All right, let's scroll down. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, Brian, hope you are doing well. Saw you posted, hearing they have another sickness in store for us on X. Can you please expand on why you are thinking this and how it will affect the market? All right. I think I saw on might be hard to just pull this out of my butt. But I think I heard that there is a plague running around Africa right now. Uh, I don't know whether I don't know whether mm, yeah, I think this is it right here. So it was interesting that quite literally before the election, we didn't hear anything at all about new pandemics and new sicknesses. And all of a sudden, just a couple weeks ago, this popped up out of nowhere. Um, are they jacking the system, getting us ready for some sort of next plague? Um, I don't think so. No, that's not the right answer. Do I think that this is going to be another sickness that leads to shutdowns? And no, I don't think so. But I definitely think that they now have this as a tool in their tool belt to try and manipulate society. So all they have to do is they just have to jack this up a little bit, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's happening again! Oh my god, it's happening again!" Blah, blah, blah. So I mean, what would seem logical to me right now is you like literally quarantine this country and just say, "Look at not a single person in, not a single person out. The gates are closed." That would probably be the best way to handle this. And I have seen in years gone by, whenever the Ebola infections and stuff pop up in Africa, they just like literally quarantine everything. And frankly speaking, that's what should have happened in that stupid fucking Winnie the Pooh wet market nonsense, right? They should have just quarantined that entire city and just shut it down, and nobody in, nobody out. Um, I don't know whether this thing's got legs or not, but I can see the sort of the people that would use this to manipulate the situation, especially now that you know who's back in power, or will be back in power there in the next month or so. They're gonna probably jack this kind of stuff up. And as long as Biden was under, and the Democrats, and thank God we don't have to fucking deal with that stupid Cammy nonsense crap. But as long as they were in charge, then I don't think you would have seen any of this. But all of a sudden, oh, up pops, people are dropping like flies in Africa. So this is what I was talking about specifically when I said that in that tweet the other day. And my hunch here is that they're going to do another one of these things. They can't control Mr. Trump, and they've lost control of the U.S. Congress now. So what do? Well, they start pulling all the other strings that they control, things like the sickness crap. That's my hunch. So that's my direct answer to you. I don't know whether it's just Brian just being an idiot. It might be, but that's what I was making reference to. And interestingly enough, I do remember back in like November, December of 2019 was when actually Julian actually first started talking about the potential of pandemics and all that kind of stuff. You know, he is over there in Asia, so maybe he has like a little bit better sort of feel being on the ground there. But you know, I mean, basically, I remember that November, December is when the sort of talk of the sickness actually first got going, and then it didn't really hit North America until, oh, what a coincidence! Just after the January leaps options expiry, so that anybody who did want to actually sell the top of the market into the beginning of 2020 got the opportunity, and they did sell in size. And I remember, I suppose, being the anniversary, I'll go back and find those tweets for you. I mean, it was blatant how much insider selling there was in the stock market into January 2020, just prior to the shit hitting the fan. And keep in mind, the shit hit the fan into that March low. And oh, gee whiz, what a coincidence. Is history repeating itself? I don't know. But Mr. Cole is telling us that the shit is going to hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan hard here into this March eclipse window. So my hunch is we do something like that. And interesting, one trend channel to another trend channel. That's what I think is going to happen here. Anyway, I don't know whether it's going to be sickness, whether it's going to be war, whether it's going to be pestilence, whether it's going to be drought, whether it's going to be dogs that shoot bees out of their mouths when they bark. No idea. And that one goes out to Ed. All right, next question, and then I'm going to head on my merry way to Lily. And I hope you all had a good offering here today. As I said, I'm not really doing health-wise that well today, so I tried my best. But you know, I never know whether you guys get value out of these crazy ass rants of mine. Actually, yeah, I'm even running a bit of a temperature. Shit. All right. Well, anyway, number 2. Hi, Brian. It seems everywhere I look, it's a short. Is that Canada? Could you comment on Europe in general, like you do with Canada? Could you also comment on the UK as a recent fiscal budget deficit, 120 billion? I mean, how ironic. The conservative government was just politely told to get the fuck out of power. And the Brits just elected a hyper insane, over the top socialist communist government. And you're surprised that they're going to run absolutely horrific, insane deficits and going to completely blow up your society? What a shock. I mean, this is what the socialists do. This is the crazy fucking world we live in right now, where you people over in the UK, I mean, you just got raped by society and Klaus and all those fuckheads. And now it's going to get worse, not better. It's going to get much, much worse over there. Sorry, guys. And make no mistake about it, my country, we're like literally staring into the abyss right now. The country is bankrupt. We've got, I mean, I get triggered whenever I start talking about my country, so I have to be very careful here, and I got to go to Liam now. So, the interesting thing is, of course, is that you just went through a massive sort of stimulus, i.e., lower interest rates to try and save the economy kind of scenario there. So we might find that the especially if you have like massive budget deficits, and which of course is going to, we know that inflation, thank you, Mr. Milton, or Uncle Milty, we know that inflation is nothing more than a monetary phenomenon. And actually, probably a really, really good image for me to leave this broadcast on is I don't know whether I was showing this on the site or whether this was just a conversation I was having with somebody. But the various different M2 money supply scenarios here. You tell me. And then we know, well, thank you, Uncle Milty, that inflation is a monetary phenomenon. Don't kid yourself. Don't get suckered into the bankster bullshit nonsense. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon. So you tell me, which direction should we be expecting inflation to be moving if you see that all of these countries are continuing to print money like it's going out of style? Tell me, folks. This isn't rocket science. So, how long can the central planners keep this? Well, you know what? We're gonna lower interest rates because the economy is weak. I mean, how long can they keep this con job going? Now, the interesting thing here is on a relative basis, has anything changed in the commodity currencies? Nothing at all. And this, of course, is why I get so triggered by my country and this idiot leader of ours. It's like he just doesn't give a fuck. And that's the piss off about this is anybody who knows economics knows about Milton Friedman and knows how inflation works. But the issue here is, are the Americans, and actually Jim and Liz are like, oh yeah, same. But are the Americans as bad as the Chinese and the Australians? Actually, the Americans, yes, they are printing, but they haven't let the situation get out of control as we had back there in 2022. And I would argue this has everything to do with Mr. Trump has come back into office. And of course, the socialists, they're trying to jack everything up as much as possible here before Mr. Trump comes back into office. And if I understand correctly, the US Congress, which of course controls the purse strings, it's going to be told specifically to, stop the raping of citizens. Now, the question here is, how's the situation in Europe? Can you see how Europe is flirting with disaster? Australia has already broken its cherry and it's back into the inflation bullshit crap. China is absolute runaway train wreck inflation crap. Interesting how Europe right now is right on the cusp. And keep in mind, what government was just elected in UK? Now, I don't have the UK on here. Might be interesting for tomorrow's conversation with the site that you specifically make reference to the UK. So it might be interesting to see what the fate of the UK is here going forward. But what I would just simply say is, unfortunately, our situation, from the inflation perspective, it doesn't get any better until these jerks get a message from our society. Like the citizens of our society have to stand up and say, no, no more. And until we do that, and you can see in my society, I don't know why, but we can't stand up to these assholes. Nobody is standing up to them. And so as a result, I'll go to the grocery store today and I guarantee you the grocery store prices will be higher than what they were when I was just there last week. And it's just unending. So this is why I actually like the United States better than I like any of these other countries. Look at the difference in the money supply situation. It's the exact same situation, and yet the Americans are the only ones that are trying to show some fiscal responsibility here. This is why the United States, I think, is a buy right now when these countries are absolutely not. It is interesting to see what's going on in France. So I don't think that this is we finished this conversation. If anything, we've just sort of peeled the first layer of the onion off. And what I would like to do, maybe we'll also do this tomorrow in the site video, is let's pull up some more sort of UK bond charts, stock charts. What do the currencies look like? And we'll give you a little bit more detailed answer for you here. But just looking at the money supply situation, you should understand that the situation is not changing. These people are not getting the message. So you tell me, especially in something like Chinese dollars, do you think that the price of Bitcoin is going to stop going up in Chinese dollars here? As long as this persists and this son of a bitch has still got probably another 6-8 months of government ahead of him, from what I understand, he wants to stay in power so that all of his cronies and all of the crooks that have basically propped up this fucking fugazi of a joke of a society and what they've done to our society here, they want to make sure that they get their pensions. So he does not want to call an election until he absolutely has to. He has no legal choice. So he's going to stay in power right till the very last day to make sure that all of the cronies in our government get these big fat government pensions. And then when he has no choice, my hunch is he's going to get run out of fucking power on a rail. All right. Well, I got triggered again. What a surprise. I mean, it's so tragic what these bastards have done to our society. So tragic. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So wish us luck on the road. Interesting. The stabbings in my country are absolutely out of control. And the authorities are sitting there scratching their head going, oh, well, we tried to make guns completely illegal, and yet these humans are still trying to figure out ways to murder each other. Now, why would all of these people be doing this? Because you've completely fucked our lives, you stupid bureaucrat idiots. It doesn't surprise me that the general sentiment of the population right now is, easiest way to solve things is with violence. Sad. Anyway, what does Canada is a short look like? As long as you see this image going up like this, Canada remains a short. And it's just as simple as that. And I don't see this picture changing for quite some time. So stay the hell away from this place. All right. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. PMA for the win. Sorry to be so sanguine. I mean, I suppose you can make the argument that you guys are all crypto bulls, rah crypto. I don't see any stop in the crypto market just now. I mean, I do like these fun little names. I mean, if you can find names that are putting in W's, then rock and roll, have some fun. And if anything, as soon as we start to see the little pieces of crap start to take off and start doing their 10x, 50x, 100x moves, then we're probably near the end of this, and you can see it's starting to happen. So when we start going like this, and of course everybody's talking about how easy it is to make money in this space, then you'll know we're near the end of this run. I don't think it happens for another few weeks. So let's all just enjoy this and see if we can make as much money as we possibly can. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. Say a nice prayer for Lily. All the best. And the only thing for me to say to you good people is bye for now.